खैर एपिसोड्स देखेंगे तो पता चलेगा पीठ पीछे किसने क्या क्या बोला है। अगर ऐसा होता तो मैं लाफा मार देता। वैसे ही अगर कभी किसी ने ट्रिगर किया तो मेरी तीसरी आंख भी खुल सकती है, और वो तीसरी आंख खुलती है तो तबाही होती है। फिर वो चीज़ वहाँ पे तो अमन कर नहीं सकते। बहुत पॉलिटिक्स होती है, बड़ा डर्टी एटमॉस्फेयर है, तो मेरे अंदर घबराहट बहुत थी। और मुझसे पूछा गया कि आपकी क्या स्ट्रैटेजी रहेगी, तो मैंने कहा कि मेरी स्ट्रैटेजी ये रहेगी कि मेरी स्ट्रैटेजी कुछ भी नहीं है। एंड स्पेशली इन आवर फील्ड, इफ यू कैन लिव थ्रू अप्स एंड डाउन्स, आई थिंक यू कैन बी अ सुपर ह्यूमन।
Hey guys, this is Alice Peter, and today I have a very special guest with me on Mamaraazzi, who has earned a number of titles: dashing supermodel, an amazing singer, actor, someone who's made Anupamaa cry, and apparently now he's also a traitor. So please welcome Sudhanshu Pandey. Sudhanshu, are you a traitor?
See, there are certain things that you can't be in life, real life, or on. You can only be that on screen, but not in real life. And this is a reality show. So even though this is going to be on screen, I would still leave it to people to decide whether I am a traitor, do I look like a traitor, behave like a traitor or not. Because I don't want to give the secret away. They probably won't be able to enjoy it then. Let them have this thought in their head कि यार कहीं ये है या नहीं है. But I think most of the people now, because the episodes have dropped, they know that I'm not a traitor and I'm an innocent. But reactions ये आ रहे हैं लोगों के कि आपने इतना काम कैसे रखा हुआ है उस जगह में.
Exactly my next question. 3 episodes, I'm already hooked. But you are so calm. Why? सब आजू बाजू में तो सब बातें करें, ये ट्रेटर नहीं है, मैं तो ट्रेटर नहीं हूँ, बट आप बहुत शांत है. Why?
मेरी शुरू से आदत रही है कि मैं भीड़ से थोड़ा अलग रहता हूँ. Always been a little away from the crowd. तो वो मेरा जो एक ट्रेट है, ट्रेटर में दिख गया है कि मैं भीड़ से थोड़ा अलग रहता हूँ. एंड आई गेस पीपल आर वंडरिंग कि अरे कैसे यार, हाउ यू मेंटेनिंग सच अ काम डिमीनर, और मतलब इतना काम हो आपकी, आप उनके रडार में ही नहीं आए हो, यू नो, नाम ही नहीं ले रहा है कोई आपका. आई थिंक यू नो दिस इज व्हाट आई सेड व्हेन द पोस्टर वाज लॉन्च्ड. और मुझसे पूछा गया कि आपकी क्या स्ट्रैटेजी रहेगी, तो मैंने कहा कि मेरी स्ट्रैटेजी ये रहेगी कि मेरी स्ट्रैटेजी कुछ भी नहीं है. नो स्ट्रैटेजी इज व्हाट माय स्ट्रैटेजी इज.
Okay.
बिकॉज इट्स अ रियलिटी शो. आई हैव ऑलरेडी done so much work and people have seen me in so many different characters. People get to connect with me on social media and get a glimpse of you know what my real life could be like. And here I'm in a reality space where audience has all the chance to see what Sudhanshu Pandey is in real life.
Correct.
So I want to just keep it real. I wanted to keep it very real. I wanted to keep it the way I am in real life. I'm a very calm and composed guy. Extremely balanced. That is how life has made me. It's not like I was born like this. We all evolve.
Yeah.
You know,
And mold.
through the course of life and through the course of incidents that happen in your life, you evolve, and some people get completely dismantled and destroyed. Some people become strong.
Yeah.
And stronger, you know. And especially in our field, if you can live through ups and downs, I think you can be a superhuman.
Obviously.
So I think I've gained that kind of strength, and I've evolved enough, and I've had my English का शब्द बड़ा बुरा लगता है, religion, but the way of life where I belong, right? Not the Hinduism, because it's a wrong name. Sanatan. That is where I come from. And that is a way of life, and there's so much of science and philosophy in it that I've tried to grab whatever little I can and use it to my advantage, because I think there is so much evolution in that whole science itself. तो मैंने अपने आप को spiritually बहुत evolve किया, because मेरा शुरू से inclination था मैं अपने धर्म की तरफ, और I think शिव को मेरा full जो surrender है, you know, वो मुझे बहुत helpful उसने मतलब it has helped me throughout the course of my life.
You also did mention in one of the interviews in the past that before you took up Anupamaa, you consulted an astrologer.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So before you took up Traitors, did you consult an astrologer about whether you should do this or not? Is this a good move or not?
No, not before Traitors, because वहाँ पे मुझे BBC ने convince किया था टेलीविजन के लिए मैंने इसलिए एस्ट्रोलॉजर से पूछा क्योंकि मैं टेलीविजन मैंने कभी किया नहीं था. एज इन नॉट अ डेली शो. आई हैड डन अ फ्यू स्पेशल अपीयरेंसेस हियर एंड देयर, बट टेलीविजन नहीं किया था मैंने. कि डेली शो कैसा होता है, उसका एटमॉस्फेयर कैसा होता है. इतनी सारी चीज़ें सुनी हुई थी कि बाबा ऐसा होता है, इतनी देर काम करते हैं और फिर कोई पर्सनल लाइफ नहीं रहती, और बहुत पॉलिटिक्स होती है, बड़ा डर्टी एटमॉस्फेयर है. तो मेरे अंदर घबराहट बहुत थी, you know. So I wanted to make sure that if I take this leap of faith, and the reason why I took that leap of faith, one very strong reason was COVID had just started.
Yeah.
And I had finished shooting for 2 of my OTT web series, and I was very sure that if I don't pick this up, it will be a difficult time.
Yeah.
And for how long, we don't know. So I said, if this is happening, let me, get into this, because they were talking about working in a bio bubble and a confined atmosphere and all that, so we can continue. And actually that is what happened. Television is the only industry that didn't shut down.
Yeah.
It's the only industry that worked throughout the lockdowns and COVID and everything. And that is, I mean, it was just a blessing in disguise, I would say, because the show became such a cult.
Absolutely.
That it was unimaginable for anyone.
Yeah.
जो प्रोड्यूसर है उसको भी नहीं पता था कि इतना बड़ा हिट हो जाएगा.
The show turned out to be a blessing for, I think, everybody.
For everyone, from the producer to the actors to everybody.
Yeah. But did it change your perception, because you were so scared कि इतना politics होता है, इतना घंटे काम करना पड़ता है. So did it change your perception about that kind of stereotypical thoughts that you had?
No, it just reinstated my fears.
Oh my God.
Because that's exactly how it happened.
Okay.
Long hours of shooting, a lot of politics that happens on sets of television, which I don't understand. I can't relate to, because I don't belong from there, and I've never really been able to relate to something like that. So I kept to myself. I had my own space, and I lived very comfortably throughout those 4 years, because I had nothing to do with the rest of the atmosphere that was there. You know, I was not a part of it, and I didn't try to, and nobody came into my space, because they knew that this is where we have to keep a little distance. So it worked just fine for me.
Yeah, I think throughout the 4 years that you were doing the show,
4 years, yeah,
there was not like a single news that was very controversial with regards to you, except for when you left, when people thought ki maybe you have a little bit of friction with Rupali. And I think you also cleared the air over there ki aisa kuch hai hi nahi. You guys are still good, right?
See, the thing is, I'll tell you what happens is, that is why I said that it just reinstated all the fears and concerns that I had. Primarily because it's such a place, television is such a place that it has, it gets into your personal space every which way, you know, whether it's through the media or it is through the people you're working with. Everybody is so close, in such a close proximity all the time, and for such long periods of time, that this whole thing of getting into each other's space is like being married, you know.
Yeah.
जब husband wife आपस में लड़ना मरना शुरू कर देते हैं, it happens because you get into each other's space so much.
True.
You don't give each other space. You know, you don't respect each other's space. There is a certain dignity in every relationship that has to be maintained, which I don't think is a norm on television or in in that industry. It is a beautiful industry. It is one of the best things that is there, because it gives the maximum employment. It is the highest revenue generator every which way. And it is the biggest industry because it is happening in every language. You have so much entertainment, whether it's the news channels or the reality channels or the wildlife or fiction, non-fiction, whatever. It's the largest industry. So it's a beautiful industry, no doubt. But certain atmosphere in that daily show scenario is very unfortunate, I would say.
Yeah.
It can always be better, but I don't know why it is like that. I hope in future there are actors or a newer generation that comes with a better mindset, where they can everybody can work peacefully without getting into each other's space and without spreading any negativity, because that is one of the biggest issues. Too much negativity that happens on the sets, and for what reason, I don't even know. Honestly, I would say that if your show is doing well, and you are being appreciated all across the globe, not just in our country, everywhere, you have fans across in the US, Canada, UK, everywhere. You should be grateful to God, be happy. It should make you more positive rather than make it more negative.
Negative.
You
True,
know,
absolutely.
so I just hope that it becomes better in the near
Okay.
future.
While shooting for Traitors, there was a lot of chit chatter that must have happened around ki maybe Sudhanshu's like this and maybe he's not like this. Do you know of any contestants that you've gotten to know of after the shoot who behaved that way with you or spoken about you that way?
No. अभी तो खैर एपिसोड्स देखेंगे तो पता चलेगा पीठ पीछे किसने क्या क्या बोला है आपके. Otherwise, on my face, I don't think I gave anybody a chance to speak to me disrespectfully. Because अगर ऐसा होता तो मैं लाफा मार देता. Because I keep that very simple. कि भाई, you know, because I'm always very respectful towards everybody around, you know. So when I am respectful, obviously the natural reaction from everyone is respect that is given back to me, and which is what I'm used to all the time. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता ही नहीं कि कोई मुझसे बिना किसी वजह के बदतमीजी करेगा. And probably because of my seniority as an actor and all of that, वो थोड़ा all those mix and matches help me to keep people at a certain
Yeah. After the release of the first 3 episodes, quite a few reactions have come in. Sahil Salatia is very upset. Elnaaz ended up just putting him under the bus that way.
Yeah. Sahil was very upset, and I think again I would say he's a simple guy. He's very simple at heart, although he doesn't come across as that because of his dressing and everything. Very insane sense of dress, and only he can carry it off. Nobody else can.
Absolutely.
You know. And having said that, I told him on his face also one day that तू जो दिखाता है वो है नहीं. You're a very simple guy at heart, you know. तो वो बेचारा emotional है, and I think because क्या नाम है इनका, Elnaaz they were very good friends.
Yeah.
I think it hurt him a lot. And if she wanted, she could have saved him, but she didn't. Her perspective was that I was playing a game. I had no choice. I had to do what I had to do because the others were also saying it. I guess it's a double-edged sword. You can't do anything about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. But did you think that Elnaaz is probably the traitor at the start? Like in the
Not at all. No. I was really shocked when I got to know she's a traitor.
Whoa.
Yeah, because she did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
She and Purav.
Yeah.
Both these guys were fantastic.
Yeah, I think they were really good at hiding. But unfortunately, Raj Kundra was not the lucky one.
Raj, I think, overacted so much. You know, he overdid everything so much.
Yeah.
He started behaving like a captain suddenly, and everybody started noticing. कि यार ये कुछ ज़्यादा ही cool हो रहा है, you know. And obviously, you see only 1 hour of the 12 hour, you know.
Yeah.
So I remember people were talking, and I remember on the first day, the traitors were chosen. Raftar had come to me later and told me कि भैया आप केयरफुल रहना, आप ट्रेटर नहीं हो, मुझे ऐसा लगता है, लेकिन राज जो है वो आपके नाम की हवा फैल रही है, एंड राज ने वो शुरू किया है. और उसने बोला था कि मैंने जब हाथ मिलाया था तो उसके हाथ में पसीना था. मैंने कहा है यार, इतना नर्वस मैं कैसे हो गया था कि मेरे हाथ में पसीना और मेरे हाथ कांप रहे थे. तो वो उसने नैरेटिव शुरू जो किया, आई थिंक दैट वेंट अगेंस्ट हिम. Because he suddenly started scripting things, you know, and it was too quick.
Yeah.
He could have just done it very slowly. Very smoothly and slowly. Then he would have survived. But I think he just gave it away too fast.
Yeah. So when the traitors were chosen, you guys were all in your rooms, and then
No, the traitors were chosen on the circle of Shak. We were blindfolded, and Karan.
When the traitors gave the name, so that time you guys were all in your rooms and all. So that's how you guys wouldn't know that who's
the traitors,
missing.
yeah. So they I mean, we were all gone to our rooms, probably sleeping when the murder happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys would never know who's missing, who's
we
not
would
in the
never
room.
know next morning कौन नहीं मिलने वाला है.
Yeah. This show has a bit of a Big Boss vibe. In parts is what I sense it. Okay. There was also news about how, you know, when Traitors wasn't announced, that probably you've been approached for Big Boss, but you didn't want to do Big Boss.
No, I can never do.
Why? Why do you think you can never do Big Boss?
You know, that is the only scenario I can say never. I would never do it, and that never say never वाला इसमें नहीं हो सकता, because I can't be in that space at all.
It gets
that is a very dirty space to be in.
Okay.
And I do not belong to that space. And I told you that, you know, actually क्या होता है कि उसमें in Big Boss you always have these 2-3 people who are very very notorious, and they are there with an agenda कि सबके साथ बदतमीजी करनी ही है, तभी वो गेम में आगे बढ़ेंगे. And somebody like me, मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ कि मैं जिसकी भक्ति करता हूँ उसकी शक्ति है मेरे में, तो मैं जितना शांत हूँ वैसे ही अगर कभी किसी ने ट्रिगर किया तो मेरी तीसरी आंख भी खुल सकती है, और वो तीसरी आंख खुलती है तो तबाही होती है, फिर वो चीज़ वहाँ पे तो अपन कर नहीं सकते. So it is better to stay away from it.
Okay. A lot of people also think that on Traitors you're probably the dark horse. You're just observing right now, but then things are going to change.
That is for people to know.
Oh my God. Give me thoda cup.
No, but that is, I think by default वो मेरी strategy हो गई थी कि मैं जैसा हूँ, I was just like that. So and deliberately I was not interacting too much because the moment it started, the bickering started.
Okay. Is there a contestant that you think on the show just left you so impressed because of the way they played the game? You don't have to tell me how, but somebody left a mark on you.
नहीं possible है, because मैंने standards बहुत high set किए हैं, कि कोई मेरे ऊपर अगर impact करता है तो it would be somebody like a Denzel Washington, कि मैं impact हो गया, मतलब मैं वो हो गया कि यार अरे क्या perform किया.
Mind blown.
Yeah. तो वो वैसा तो कुछ नहीं हुआ, but I was impressed with the way Purav. He's not that aggressive.
Yeah.
Unnecessary aggressive नहीं, वो बहुत ही
शांत and smart.
बहुत correctly खेलता है वो लड़का. And मुझे अच्छा लगा वो लड़का काफी. एलनाज ने बड़ी कमाल की एक्टिंग करी. बहुत कमाल की एक्टिंग करी. बाकी I think everybody was as confused as it can get,
Yeah.
Everybody was saying, मैं बता रहा हूँ ये ट्रेटर है, ये ट्रेटर है, ये ट्रेटर है, ये ट्रेटर. सबका हर दूसरे सेकंड में बदल रहा था. And nobody was right, because that is what the game is.
Yeah.
They play with your mind so much that.
Yes. Based on your observation, did you find like a few people that you absolutely just wanted to stay away from?
But I stayed away from all the. I wouldn't name anybody, but I would say that I stayed away from all the loud people.
Now it's for us to guess. Okay. You've spoken a lot about your struggles. Okay. You've met with a lot of highs and a lot of lows. Okay. And I think the lows is what changed you. Okay. I'm going to take you back in time when you were the little teenager who came, who wanted to do modeling. Okay. Started off with that. And during that phase, did you feel like this is the beginning of my dream? Or did you feel like I'm scared and I don't know what to do, but I'm just going to go with the flow?
Okay. I'll be honest. Okay. One, I had never had a dream, strangely, कि मुझे ये बनना है. The only thing I wanted to do was get into the army. Okay. I was studying in army school.
Yeah.
मेरे दोस्त सारे आर्मी में चले गए, सब फौजी ऑफिसर बन गए थे. They've served the nation for the longest time. That is the only thing I had in my mind. Okay. But I had never ड्रीम्ड ऑफ अ थिंग कि मुझे ये बनना है, वो बनना है. मुझे भगवान ने उंगली पकड़ के चला दिया कि बेटा तू अब इधर जा, अब तू यहाँ गिरेगा, फिर मैं तुझे उठाऊंगा, फिर तू आगे चलेगा, फिर तू गिरेगा, फिर मैं तुझे उठाऊंगा. तो इस तरह से मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आई हैव बीन जस्ट गाइडेड बाय हिम थ्रू आउट माई लाइफ. एंड ओनली आफ्टर आई थिंक 2008 or 10 is when I started taking my life very seriously in terms of what I want to do and what I want to become.
Okay.
Right? Is when I started taking myself seriously. At this point in time in my life, I am in the most sorted phase in terms of my thought process. Right? When you say sorted, it's not about कि आपके पास बहुत पैसा है या बड़ी गाड़ियां हैं या बड़ा घर है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. Sorted is when your thought process is crystal clear.
Yeah.
That is when your life is sorted. Whether you have something or not is immaterial. But when your thought process is clear, you know what you can achieve or what you want and where you want to get, and you will, because you're very clear about what you want.
I think it's a very rare trait to have so much clarity. And with your graph that I've just read and seen, it's just one that I think you've developed very early on, because when you were a part of a band of boys also, okay, it was doing so well. You guys were doing concerts, you guys were doing shows, the songs are a hit, they're still a hit, everyone keeps talking about it even now, okay. But at that point of time, because of maybe finances, you decided to leave, right?
Yeah.
So you left at a moment where it was at its peak.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? Even with Anupama, it was at its peak, and then you left.
Yeah.
So I feel like clarity you developed pretty early on that way.
Yeah,
Don't you think
I
so?
think I've never been confused about अगर मुझे पता है कि यार ये if this is it, the time has come, I will decide. I'm very quick at deciding, you know. I do not contemplate so much that I get confused. I can't function like that. And most of the people around me are like that, confused and, you know, always thinking too much, overthinking and getting confused again and again. It makes you indecisive.
Yeah.
Right? You can't decide. The power to make a decision is most important.
True.
You could go wrong. It could be a wrong decision, but at least you made one.
Yeah.
If you can't make a decision, you will only lose out.
Lovely. I'm going to go back to a band of boys.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm going to take you back to the time when you decided that you don't want to be a part of this band anymore for, you know, reasons that seemed right to you.
At that time.
Yeah, at that time. Okay. When you had to tell the boys that, okay, tell me that moment.
When I had to tell them, they were quite distraught, and they couldn't relate to the fact that, you know.
But like, how did you like just?
I told them. I said, I need to, I need to start working as an actor again. I need to start my work, get back to my acting career, because it's not working out financially for me, and I have a family to support. There is no way we can make so much money in this. So basically what happened was, we were so big as a band. It was a rage all across the world. You know, we were so big, it was unimaginable. We had straight comparisons and competition with Backstreet Boys that time. We had gone to that level. Unfortunately, because in India, the things functioned so differently. If we were at the same level in the West somewhere, we would have made so much money for the 7 generations to come. You understand? We could have had a private jet easily.
Yeah.
But it is exactly the opposite in this country. So we couldn't, I had to take a decision that it's not financially working out. So let me just, right now, I'll put an end to this. You guys continue. And they did. They were always there. There was a lot of furor. It's not like it was a very peaceful thing. There was a lot of furor because they were emotionally also upset about this. And I was also very emotionally upset about it. I remember Karan howling, you know. He was crying, you know. And but I had no choice. And till date, one of them had a little grudge against me for that. And although we cleared it out, because we've all grown up and we've understood lives much better than we did that time. So we understand कि boss, जो भी होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. And now, since I've come back with the band, everything is sorted. We're about to release a song with Asha Bhosle now.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, we've already shot the video and everything. So it'll be out very soon, this month only.
Okay. I think there is conversations that have taken place about how the band took it, you know, really bad. Let's talk about you. After you moved on, okay, did you feel a lot more hurt that आज मैं गाना नहीं गा रहा हूँ या आज ये concert हो रहा है, but I'm not a part of it?
Yeah, I missed the fact that, you know, we were together and we were so many years we were together and we were doing shows across the world.
Yeah.
You know, traveling to Bali, to this place, to that place. All over the place we were doing shows. London, here, there. It was quite a heartbreak, but I had no choice. I had literally no choice. So I had to take a decision. So I missed performing with them, and now I'm looking forward to starting stage shows with them again.
All over again.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm hoping for the same madness as it was back then, because it was crazy.
It was crazy. Absolutely.
Of course. Crazy. Okay. Now when you look back at this journey, you know, standing here, how does it feel?
It feels, I don't regret anything.
Yeah.
I think I'm thankful for that, especially those 4 years of my life. I'm most grateful for that. Most grateful, because that really changed a lot for me.
Yeah.
As a human being, as an actor,
yeah.
every which way, you know. And I think as an actor, it is important that you evolve as a human being first. When you evolve as a human being, you can use so much more as an actor and to your craft, you know.
Yes.
Add so much to your craft.
Absolutely. I think if you take the learnings from the past, you'll polish
So for me,
yourself.
that is a blessing. I mean, I still thank God कि मुझे वो 4 साल I went through that
Yeah.
because that really it's like for me it was enlightenment actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, kudos to you for not giving up.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you
It's
know, it takes a
all
lot.
thanks. Yeah.
It's all thanks
yeah.
to
It takes
God.
everything. It takes
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going back with a lot of learnings, a lot of notes that I've taken. So thank
I'm
you so
glad.
much
Thank you so
for
much.
chatting with me and removing your time.
Thank you so much.
And all the very best for everything that you're going to do.
Thank you. नमस्कार, मैं हूं सुधांशु पांडे और आप लोग मुझे देख रहे हैं मामराजी पे।